Hello and welcome to Security Weekly News, episode 491 on July 3rd, 2025. This week we have North Korea, ransomware, social engineering, AI, Apple, drugs, and Iran. All this and more on Security Weekly News.
This is a Security Weekly production for security professionals by security professionals. Please visit securityweekly.com/subscribe to subscribe to all the shows on our network.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
It's the show that keeps you up to date on the latest security news twice a week. Your trusted source for accurate security information and expert analysis. It's time for the Security Weekly News. Imagine a world where every threat, ransomware, supply chain attacks, zero-day exploits, is stopped before it can even begin. ThreatLocker makes that world a reality with a zero-trust approach to cybersecurity. By giving you granular control on every executable that can happen in your environment, ThreatLocker protects your business around the clock. No more guessing, no more gaps, just rock-solid protection that keeps your operations running smoothly and your data secure. Discover how ThreatLocker's least privilege approach can safeguard your organization against known and unknown threats. Take the first step toward total peace of mind. Visit securityweekly.com/threatlocker today.
Okay, welcome back. I'm Aaron Leyland, and I'm going to stop the highs and stop the lows and try and keep my voice in the middle because someone shouted at me. But thank you for writing in. Doug is out as Pixel is at the vet. Get well soon, Pixel. We love you. Okay, so let's get into the news. So first we have one of my favorite subjects, exposing North Korea's the DPRK cyber syndicate and hidden IT workforce. Totally great report. Read it. It's in the show notes with all the others, as always. So it talks about North Korea's cyber playbook, survival's sort of trumps ideology. So the new report exposes a DPRK hacking operation structured like a mafia syndicate, they say. Operatives moonlighting as IT freelancers to feed their families and fund the regime's weapons. It's literally how they get their outside cash. It's how they get their dollars. So imagine hiring a seamlessly skilled developer overseas only to find out they're funneling your secrets to Pyongyang. It's like not just another APT. It's cool. It blends theft, espionage, statecraft, and under desperate conditions, right? So there's a part that people really underestimate. These hackers are driven by basic needs, making them relentless and hard to deter. So we must reframe defenses because the line between nation state and criminal crew just blurred. Great article. Okay, next one. Over 1,200 Citrix servers unpatched against critical auth bypass flaw. So more than 1,200 internet-facing Citrix servers are still unpatched against a critical authentication bypass. Essentially, doors open for the attackers. So the vulnerability, dubbed as they always are, Citrix Bleed 2, like must be better than the first, right? Bigger and badder. So it lets the hackers hijack session tokens and just bypass MFA as if they were legitimate users. So the scenario is an attacker lifts a session cookie from an unpatched gateway and instantly impersonates a valid user. So there's a complete breach without cracking a password. It's like we're always worrying about 0 days, but as I say, patch aggressively. It's like ignoring these known sort of problems with that have fixes, totally asking for trouble. When I used to work in cyber incident response, every single sort of incident that I went to was because something hadn't been patched. So stop being shocked, get it patched. Critical infrastructure, you'll get headline breaches, patch it or get the pain. Okay, Radex cyber attack, this is the third story, exposes Swiss federal data. So a ransomware attack on a Swiss health non-profit just spilled all the federal government data onto the dark web, as it does. So the hackers hit Radix, which is a small foundation, and leaked 1.3 terabytes of data, including files from Swiss federal offices. Crucially, Radix wasn't even inside the government networks. It held the data as a partner. Look, third-party risk management, it's the buzzword at the minute. On due diligence, it's the question always being asked, what's your sort of plan for third-party risk? So instead of storming a fortified government server, they breached the side door contractor, as they always do, and got the crown jewels anyway. Look, as we say, third-party risk management, you're only as strong as your weakest vendor. Supply chain breaches, get a tool, like get into this, get some due diligence done. It's not somebody else's problem. It's like your mission critical data could be accessed by a company that just has really rubbish cyber. Okay, number 4, hacker conversations. So Rachel Topak and the art of social engineering. I love a social engineer. And if we look at sort of scattered spider and all that sort of stuff, social engineering. So it does remain as a starting point for all of, like, most of the cyber attacks that we're hearing at the minute. And experts like Rachel Topak, it's like this article just shows how easy it is to hack humans. So in the article, in the conversation, she describes using AI to clone a CEO's voice and add fake airport noise so that a target believes their boss is calling with an urgent request. In one demo, about half the employees who picked up, like, just complied on the spot. Look, it's not always fancy malware. People can just convince you to do these things. So be aware. Make sure your service desk is aware. Make sure your users are aware. Get some user awareness out there. It's like, and AI. It's all getting turbocharged by AI. It's moving on so fast. It's like we need to treat psychological security gaps as seriously as software bugs, right? Okay, next one. Using AI to identify cybercrime masterminds. This is cool. Threat researchers are turning AI loose on dark web forums to find the puppet masters behind e-crime. Sophos analysts use machine learning to sift through 11,000 forum posts, which isn't that much, right? And discovered a small cluster of highly skilled actors orchestrating attacks. And in this report, there's 14 individuals who stood out from thousands of what they call wannabes. It's like, this is cool because this could be months of manual intel work with an algorithm that flags the few hackers that really matter. And the total takeaway from this is AI is not just for attackers. Us defenders can use it to spot patterns that you'd miss amongst the noise. And it just mapped out who was talking about exploits and focuses and totally on all the big brains behind it, not just the sort of henchmen and foot soldiers. Really cool article in the show notes. Okay. Comparing SEMGREP Pro and Community. This is quite a cool white paper if you're into that sort of stuff. Love a white paper. So a lot of the times we think about upgrading a security tool is worth it, like paying hard cash for it. And this white paper in this use case totally says yes. So they looked at the free SEMGREP code scanner versus the paid one and found the commercial engine, as we would hope, flags more real bugs with fewer false alarms. In one case, the open source version missed a subtle vulnerability that SEMGREP Pro caught. Look, it could have slipped into production. Sometimes some people assume community tools are good enough, but right, you pay for what you get for in most cases, right? And if you're not paying for it, what is it they say, that you're the product? Well, definitely when it comes to Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and that, right? Okay, next one, Professional Pentester Toolbox, TCM Security Picks. So it goes into what's in a pro pen tester's toolbox. So that's kind of cool, right? Especially when I was starting out, I wanted to know what everybody at DEF CON had in their bag. Ask Paul Asadorian what he has in his bag. No, don't do that. So the blog reveals the go-to tools that give an edge. And it has like examples of Credmaster for password spraying, which finds weak creds without causing lockouts, or Impacket, which it calls a Swiss Army knife for Windows lateral movement. It's like, look, these are easy wins, stealthy moves, not about tool worship. It's about efficiency, but having the skills and just getting some knowledge and really getting into the tradecraft. And it talks about having a well-stocked toolbox can mean the difference between effortlessly breaching, or it goes on about banging your head against a firewall. God, it's like, most of them are in the cloud anyway. There's no firewall to bang against. Okay, so Humac Apple partner ransomware breach. A major Apple partner, more third party, learned the hard way that ransomware crews love high value targets on the periphery. Humac, which this says is the biggest Apple reseller in the Nordics, love the Nordics, but beer is way too expensive. It got hit by the Kraken gang, and the hackers claimed to have nabbed, stolen company financials, customer records, and more. So if you're Apple, supply chain nightmare, criminals breached the trusted retailer, got the data. Look, it says that an attacker with Humac's employee VPN logins could try to piggyback onto Apple support systems next. Look, partners do not allow low priority and risk assessments. We need to get in on this. Third-party risk management. They're just exploiting the trust we have in third parties. Okay, next one. And I'm sorry to production that I did so many articles. Apparently I was only meant to do 8 and I've done 14. Sorry. Okay, so Canada gives Hikvision the boot on on national security grounds. This is all like Huawei all over again, isn't it? So Canada just banned Chinese camera maker Hikvision. It sounds like I shouldn't say what Hikvision sounds like. It sounds like somebody from the countryside, doesn't it? But this is entirely, they say, on national security grounds, and Hikvision has to cease all operations in the country, and government agencies must rip out their cameras with Huawei all over again. Look, a ubiquitous surveillance brand suddenly deemed an espionage risk overnight. It's like, and we're thinking these are trusted devices on like our infrastructure. And this is all big geopolitics stuff, so it's really good fun. Supply chain risks, again, technical issues. Look, if you're buying cheap, well, they say if you're buying cheap, you're buying twice. But when it comes to tech, if you're buying cheap, you're probably hacked, right? Today, cameras. Tomorrow, it could be telecom gear. It could be router switches, software libraries. Don't buy cheap, and maybe buy closer to home. If these countries are like a total adversary, the big 4 or 5, China, Iran, North Korea, it's like Russia. You probably don't want to be buying your tech there, okay? Okay, Sinolic drug cartel drugs hired a sniper snoop to identify and kill FBI informants. So pretty serious. Sounds like a movie plot, but I guess a lot of what happens down there does, right? So they hired a hacker to help down FBI informants. An FBI audit revealed the Cartel's cyber snoop, I did some air quotes there for anybody who's watching on video, offered a menu of services from hacking phones to tapping into Mexico City street cameras. That is crazy, to track down people aiding the US investigation. And it worked. Several informants were identified and murdered based on this digital surveillance. That is crazy, right? So siloing cyber from physical crime, but here. It's completely fused. It's a wake-up call. Criminal gangs can have nation-state level cyber capabilities. And as I say, really sad. It's not just data loss. It was actually life and death. Scary stuff. Okay, SquareX employees are no longer the weakest link. Browser AI agents are. So from removing like thinking, no, we're already all like insider risk or accidental risk or users, but it's talking about browser AI agents, right? So the new research from SquareX, great report, shows that browser-based AI assistants, and these are like the bots automating web tasks, saying it's an even bigger liability. These agents will click anything. In one test, an AI helper tasked with finding a file sharing service granted a fake app access to the user's email. A permission prompt any human would have flagged, right? But the scary part is, well, the agents just do what agents do. You program, what you see is what you get, what garbage in, garbage out, all that good stuff. And companies are just pumping these out. I don't think there's the proper governance and controls everywhere. You need to really, really look into the landscape of this. So, stark reminder, new AI assistants need guardrails, or they're just going to let all your information out and all the attackers in. Okay, right. There's a joint statement, potential targeted cyber activity against the US critical infrastructure from Iran. Are we surprised? It's like, I'm not surprised. It's like, wow. It's like that all blew up, didn't it? Literally. Right. US cyber authorities issues a heads up that Iranian state hackers may be eyeing critical infrastructure. Maybe. Of course they are. A joint alert from CISA, NSA, FBI, and others notes no confirmed campaign yet. Crazy. Definitely happening. But urges critical organizations to stay sharp. So the intel suggests something big could be brewing. It is. Iran, their playbook. It's easy, right? Exploit unpatched systems. What I said. They will steal your guest credentials, and they will work with ransomware gangs. It's like, look, get your shields up. No complacency. Frequent alerts. No, make sure you're not tuning out Iran. Look, harden systems before an attack materializes. It's like there's a lot of people out there saying the big one's coming, and there's a lot of articles on it. Just Google it. Okay, super fast professional commentary this week. Because I wasn't meant to do the news today. I was meant to do the professional commentary, so I've wedged it in, and we'll do it nice and fast because Web3, it's like, I don't know, it seemed to be something and then not something. But back to North Korea, hackers target Web3 with NIM malware and use click fix in Baby Shark campaign. Baby Shark, Baby Shark. Don't Google that if you've never heard it. Okay, so I think Web3 is broadly underperformed against initial expectations. It's like, I've totally killed my teleprompter here. Not that it's a teleprompter, it's just sort of me rolling around. But yeah, so look, it's underperformed against initial expectations, and despite the significant hype and of investment, it looks like user adoption has sharply declined. Daily active wallet counts have steadily fallen from their peak in 2021 crypto boom. Is anybody still in crypto? Are you still making money? Tell me. I'm not allowed in it. Personally, I don't want back in it. Anyway, reflecting that waning mainstream interest, like NFTs. Who got into NFTs? It's like, there's got to be a use case for them, but it wasn't buying Justin Bieber's whatever you bought. Can't even remember what it was now. Ape. It was an ape on that. Bored ape. Okay, so NFT trading volumes plummeted by more than 90%. And look, it's like OpenSea's drop from 2 billion in monthly trading at its height to approximately 170 million. It's like rich people like to show off rich things. And if you've got like a bored ape, sort of $2 million picture. It's like, I don't know, are you going to have it on one of them little photo frames that your family swipes from side to side? No, rich people like £1 million Ferraris that they can go, look, I'm rich. It's not just a picture. Anyway, similarly, decentralized finance, DeFi experienced significant setbacks with total value locked, substantially reduced amid capital flight following repeated security breaches. We've talked about them on the show, and major protocol collapses, such as Terra Luna and FTX. And also, although I just don't know what the US is doing in regulatory anymore, because it seems like it's all going regulatory and then it's not, and then it is, then it's not. I don't know. Maybe they're just going to push it from federal out to the state. Someone else deal with the problem. But the regulatory headwinds have compounded Web3 struggles. Increasingly aggressive enforcement action by bodies like the SEC have created substantial uncertainty and compliance burdens, as I say, particularly in the United States. This regulatory pressure has forced numerous projects and developers to relocate to jurisdictions perceived as more crypto-friendly. It's like, whatever happened to the Trump coin? It's like, it was up there like $50 or something, maybe even 100, can't remember. Okay, so this crypto-friendly like countries are non-regulated probably. Further fragments the industry and the totally undermining investor confidence. So against this backdrop of uncertainty and decline, obviously North Korea are there because it's cash. They're after cash. They're after your dollars. So this talks about it evolving sharply in recent weeks. So North Korea's Lazarus group, it's the government, right? It's the government. And they have intensified focus on exploiting Web3 platforms. So be careful. So they're not new. They've been around forever. They've been around for as long as stealing money off people on the internet nearly. So they've had a strategic pivot, it says, towards blockchain and DeFi. And this is saying it's strategically significant, particularly given their advanced technical capabilities and relentless adaptability it talks about. So Lazarus have employed highly sophisticated phishing campaigns, exploited critical vulnerabilities and smart controls, and manipulated decentralized autonomous organizations, DAOs, to siphon off substantial funds. And we've heard the numbers, they're massive. It says they have successfully executed targeted zero-day exploits in Web3 environments, indicating access to advanced research capabilities or connections to illicit cybercrime markets, all about the cash, right? So it says critically and often underestimated is the evolution of Lazarus tradecraft, right? Raised from the dead and the dead and the dead. It talks about it might be easy to dismiss their shift into Web3 as just another cyber criminal adaptation, but that totally misses the strategic calculus at play. So Web3's characteristics, irreversible transactions, pseudo-anonymity, and at the end of the day, an immature security posture are just providing uniquely advantageous opportunities for exploitation. Obviously, North Korea, Lazarus clearly understands this, investing heavily in exploit development, specifically targeting smart contract languages like Solidity. So this goes on about their coding methods are notably precise, streamlined, and evolve rapidly. It talks about consider the recent compromise of the well-known decentralized exchange DEX, where Lazarus operatives infiltrated official Discord and Telegram groups, subtly altering official announcements to direct unsuspecting users towards convincingly cloned websites. So good at it. AI can do it now. It's like I cloned a website just for research purposes recently. It's so easy. So the sites, this tells us, hosted zero-day exploits tailored to compromise browser-based wallets, allowing Lazarus to siphon over $15 million in crypto assets in hours, it says. And the efficiency and swiftness of the attack, it says, highlights their formidable operational capabilities. It talks about, it says, a critical insight many are overlooking. Lazarus isn't merely capitalizing on technical vulnerabilities. They're systematically exploiting trust dynamics embedded within Web3 communities. Social engineering tactics, misinformation, dissemination, and manipulation of decentralized consensus mechanisms that have become primary attack vectors, rendering traditional, purely technical security measures insufficient. It talks about operationally, security teams must urgently reassess their threat models and incident response strategies, saying many Web3 platforms continue to treat cybersecurity as an afterthought, assuming inherent security from decentralization. It says it's a dangerous misconception, and I guess it is. We need mandatory smart contract audits, robust multi-signature arrangements, and sophisticated transaction anomaly detection systems. Go buy that, right? It's like, go to my vendor, I want a sophisticated transaction anomaly detection system. But this says that needs to be a standard SOP, standard operating procedure, not optional enhancements. It goes on about looking forward. This strategic imperative for security leaders is clear. It says, how rapidly can mature Web3 security infrastructure to outpace adversaries as capable as Lazarus? It talks about incrementals not good enough. It must be fundamental assessments of underlying security assumptions, and an aggressive acceleration of defensive maturity is required before the threat actors further exploit this environment's inherent weakness and apparently our ongoing complacency. So thank you for that. And thank you, Aaron, for doing the professional commentary. And thank you, Aaron, for coming back to the news. And finally, okay, Europol dismantles, I love big numbers, $540 million cryptocurrency fraud network. Europol just busted a massive cryptocurrency scam ring that swindled over 5,000 people out of 540 million. Them numbers don't work for me because that is a lot of money for not many people. Okay. So why is 100? No, it's a lot of money. So it said it wasn't a lone hacker. It was an organized syndicate running like a call center with scripts and even scam compounds of forced labor. It's like, here you go, get in here and fill up my scam compound. Crazy. They were saying the victims were slowly groomed, and this is what we call pig butchering, terrible name, but I guess it gets a point across, into fake crypto investments. The gang laundered funds through countless accounts to hide the trail. Europol says the scale is unprecedented, aided, of course, by AI-generated identities and chatbots. It's cybercrime as organized crime, highly coordinated, tech-empowered, and ruthless, it calls us. The brutal reality behind these scams underscores that online crime can have very real human victims, right? So I'm sorry that the news was a bit sad today. Sorry that Pixel's in the vets. Doug, hope Pixel gets well soon. Pixel get well soon. That's it from me. Have a great week. See you next week. Peace out, party cyber people. Woo! Like and subscribe.